Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Abandship COB Rechargeable Keychain light. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So this actually comes as a 2-pack, so that's nice if you want to give these for gifts, or if you want to say put these in your cars if you have multiple cars or something, or you can keep one and give one to a friend. Let me get this open. So I'll just be taking a look at one of these because they're identical. On the side it says micro USB charging, bottle opener, mini size, strong magnet, carabiner, COB floodlight. Let's open it up. Okay, so I do notice something right away. It says right on the side, it says micro USB charging, but it actually has USB Type-C charging, which is the newer standard, so that's not bad at all. Okay, we have a user manual here. So it says carabiner, bottle opener, COB floodlight, USB Type-C port, hanging hook, on-off button, strong magnet. It's made of aluminum. Light source is 6-watt COB, so that's chip on board. That's the type of LED. Power supply is 500 milliamp hour rechargeable battery. 4 lighting modes. It has COB 60% brightness, COB 30% brightness, COB strobe, long press button to the brightest. So it's rechargeable. Has a red light when charging, green when fully charged. Then it has some warnings there. Let's take this out. Okay, so there's some protective plastic over the COB. Pull that off. So this has an array of LEDs here, and this is a metal body. On the back side we have a little stand that comes out, so you can stand this up. So if you're changing a tire on the side of the road, you could stand that up to shine the light at the tire. Has a rubber flap here with the USB Type-C charging port. On the other side we have a switch, we have a magnet here, and then we have a tripod thread there. That tripod thread can make it very versatile. There are many mounts that use a tripod thread. That would be a 1/4-20 thread. So you could use this with suction cup mounts, clamp mounts, bar mounts, a traditional tripod, you name it. So that could be good for positioning this light however you want. So let me turn it on. I'll press the button here on the side. So the light is on now. This would be the medium mode. I'll press it again. We're on the low mode. Press it again. We're on the strobe mode. Now if I turn it on and I hold this down, we're going to bump up into the high mode. So you did see this flashing on camera here when it was in those lower modes. You can see a little flicker on the reflection, but you can't see that in person. The way it dims this is by switching it on and off very quickly. Hold that down and now we're on the brightest mode, and that is incredibly bright for something this small. So now I'm going to shut the light off so we can see what this looks like in the dark. Okay, so it's mostly dark in here. There's a little bit of light behind me. I'll turn the light on. So this is on the medium mode, and I'm holding this, I don't know, about a foot over this piece of paper, and I can easily read this, no problem. I'll turn it down to the lower mode. And here I can read this just as well. Maybe I can read it a little bit better on the bright mode, but barely. I'll hold it down, and now we're on the brightest mode. So if I was wanting to preserve battery life, I'd probably put it on the lower mode, because it's plenty easy to read. Now I'll hold this up to the ceiling, which is around 4 feet. So we're on medium mode. I can read that. I'd prefer it brighter. The lower mode, same thing. It was easier to read. It actually looks a little darker in person than it does on camera. Let me try the super bright mode. Okay, so that's a little easier to read. Now, as my eyes adjust, it would probably be easier to read on those dimmer modes too. So now I'm going to point the camera at the wall. I'm around 4 foot from the wall, and the light's around 4 foot, and I want to see what kind of light this casts. So it's a very even light. This is the brightest mode. It's medium. It's the lowest. There's that strobe mode. So I'll turn this on the medium mode. I'm going to move this up closer to the wall now. So it has a very even pattern of light. So this doesn't have a lot of ringing in it. It's very even, so if you're trying to look at something in detail, the light is not going to interfere with that. So now I'm going to head out to my car engine, and we'll take a look at the car engine under this, because I think one of the reasons someone might want something like this is emergency use. Like if your car breaks down and you need to repair something. Okay, so I'm out here at my car, and it's during the day, and there is some ambient light in my garage here, but the bay is pretty dark. I can see it a little better in person, but it's too dark to do anything with it. So let me turn the light on. So this is the medium mode. So this gives you a lot of light, but if I turn it to the high mode, it'll take it up just a little bit more. So if we had a leak in here or a broken belt, we could easily identify that. Let me turn it down to the low mode. So I can see on the low mode, but if I was looking for a problem, I'd probably want to run this on the high mode. So this has a clip on it, so we can clip it to the hood latch like so. Now it's not clipping on there all the way, but it does the trick. It's still shining light on the engine. So this also has a magnet. Now my hood is aluminum, so it's not going to stick to that, but it might stick to something like that, the hood latch, which is steel. So if you do have a steel hood, you could stick it on your hood or some other part to help mount it. Another thing you could use it for would be a situation like this. If you had a flat tire, you could point it towards the tire while you change it. Okay, those are a couple different uses for it. So I did want to show real quick some of the different types of mounts you could use with this. It is a suction cup mount here. So you could suction cup that to a window or some smooth surface. Here is a bar clamp. So this could go on a bicycle, motorcycle, like a roof rack or something, some equipment. You have that. You could even mount this to something like a selfie stick. So I'll screw that on here. So now we have a light on a pole. So maybe you're doing some budget filmmaking and you want a light up high. So you can put this on this pole and hold this up really high from above to do different effects. So having that 1/4 thread on the bottom makes it very versatile on how you can mount this. Of course, it also has the carabiner on there that you can clip this to a bag or something. Okay, so I did some runtime tests with this, and on the high setting, I got 1 hour and 9 minutes on a full charge. On the medium setting, I got 2 hours and 6 minutes, and the low setting, I got 3 hours and 5 minutes. So this doesn't have extremely long run times, but if you're taking this camping, if you're, say, preparing your tent for the night to get ready, you might only have it on for a few minutes. You could prepare a meal with this on. You could use this to walk to the restrooms or something, or search for something in your car bag or backpack. Or if you have an emergency alongside the road, you have plenty of run time to diagnose and potentially fix any issues with that. What this isn't going to work well for is if you're camping at night and you want to have a lantern on for the whole evening. This would likely not last that long. And that's due to the size. Being this small, you can only put so big of a battery in it. So that's the Abandship COB Rechargeable Keychain light. It's an impressive light, has tons of output on it, and it has a small size. And it is also a 2-pack, as I mentioned earlier, so that makes a great value. You could use these for emergencies, camping, home maintenance. There are many things you could use these for. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.